In this lesson, we're going to discuss glyphs. If you'd like to follow along, go under the File menu to Open, and in the Sample Files folder, scroll down to 0606, Finding Hidden Glyphs, and just click Open. What is a glyph? It's all the variations of various characters within the style of a typeface. And there's actually a panel to help you find and insert the various glyphs that you may want to use. It's called the Glyphs panel. And I'm going to click to open it and then get an insert point in my first line. Maybe what I want to do is finish up this equation. I need a division sign. But you can see, as an open type typeface, Adobe Garmin Pro, there are a lot of glyphs. Let me just show you. I'm going to start scrolling down over here. And there's not only currency and various kinds of punctuation and numbers of various kinds and sizes and positions. There's also ornaments. Let me just scroll down a little bit further. So there's obviously a lot here to go through. Well, do I have to go through the entire font to find exactly what I want to insert? Well, no, because there's something called a Show pop-up menu. If I click down where it says entire font, I could choose, how about math symbols? So instead of having to look through the entire font to find my division sign, I could just double click on my division sign in the math symbols section, and there it is. Well, what about the sign for infinity? I'm going to get an insertion point right after that. I'm going to go to the glyph in the math symbol section that is infinity and just double click to insert it. But what if I wanted to complete this sentence, put in my 2 cents? Well, I'm going to click right after the 2 to get an insert point, but that's not a math symbol. That's actually currency, so I have to click down on the Show pop-up and go to currency. Now the question becomes not where the cent sign is, it's more like, which cent sign do I want to use? I have a bunch of them here. And also, any glyph that has an arrow to its lower right, if I click, there's other possible glyphs there that I may want to use. So let me go to this little tiny one that's raised up. That's exactly what I want. But what about symbols? Let me get an insert point next to that next line and go to my Show pop-up to symbols. And you can see there are some currency glyphs here, but also it's symbols like a copyright sign or a register mark. Or maybe I want a trademark, but not in this size. Maybe I want it even smaller. Can click down and choose the alternate small size, which is really teeny. But what if I wanted to add a euro before this number a couple of lines down? Well, there's my euro right there. I have a whole variety of them. I'm going to choose this one by double-clicking on it, and there it is. Let me go to the line above where it says any kind of number. I'm going to go to my Show pop-up and go to numbers. I have a whole variety of different glyphs for each one of the numbers that I may want to use. I even have a whole variety of fractions, and I can double-click on any of these to insert them. Let me add a space. Maybe I want to do, how about 4 squared? So you can see how this will really come in handy. But what about punctuation? Like, for instance, in Spanish, before a question, there's also a question mark. But it's a special question mark that's upside down. Let me get an insert point before my question here. Go to the Show pop-up to punctuation and find my upside down question mark. Well, once again, I have a choice here of a whole bunch of different kinds of upside down question marks. I'm just going to use this one that's slightly below the baseline. Really kind of nice. Or what about if I wanted to insert one of the ever popular bullet signs? Well, that's also punctuation. Let me double click on that and I have a bullet. Other parts of the panel. You can actually change typefaces if you want right here. This is the current typeface that I'm using. If I wanted to choose some other typeface, I could do that right here, or also a different style within the same type family. I could also make my glyphs bigger if I want to see them better, or I can make them smaller by clicking the bigger or smaller symbols at the bottom right of the panel. There's also a recently used section, but be aware it means recently used using a particular typeface. So you can see this upside down question mark, it actually says Adobe Garmin Pro Regular. So if I wanted to use bold, I would actually have to change the style here. We're going to continue to discuss character formatting in the next lesson.